Okay.
Go!
No, well, you can hear it when you say that.
I say, I know you can.
Ah, well, I don't know.
What, do you think I'm a dodo?
Yep.
We got 5 minutes. Maybe I'll get that fly.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
Lovely flowers, Donna.
Yeah, I know. As I say.
Here's a lovely woman. You are lovely in all respects.
Oh, yeah.
You are!
Yeah.
You are! I love
Yeah.
you!
I know, I love you as well. Where's my fly?
Where?
I don't know. He
Right
went
there.
that way.
I think I might have got him.
I don't know. Oh. No, you didn't.
You got him.
No, I didn't. He's on your
I see
camera.
where he is, yeah.
Camera tripod. He might be
I
dopey.
think he's sort of dead.
I think he's dopey.
I think he's gone.
Good.
Hey, my hair's quite long, eh?
I've got the fly.
Nice.
I've got the fly.
Good for you.
No, he's flying around.
Oh, I
He
see.
keeps coming back to me. I don't know where he is now. He's disappeared. Oh, I'll get rid of him. I mean, no, I don't. He's nowhere near. He's gone. He's there.
There. 2 of them are there. Wow. No, you missed both.
I missed both. A spectacular miss. We've only got 3 minutes. I don't want the fly.
It takes 1 minute to fly, kill a fly.
Yeah, but I don't want the fly spotter with me.
Well, you could keep it. Just put it out of sight. Put it underneath your bench.
Go on.
Let's start the show like that. Eh?
No.
Yeah! Come on, it's fun.
Nah.
And if anybody sees a fly, no, Maggie, use it. Use it. Why you hit the side of the fridge? And they go, ooh.
Nah.
No, do it. It's fun. It's fun. Don't do it up there. Do it. Swat the fly in the fridge or soap or something. I can't see you. Can I?
No, I was just trying to catch him. No, I don't like the idea of flies in the kitchen.
Well,
No, I don't like. No.
What if he flies in?
Well,
Then you lost a piece.
no, I don't.
Oh, all right.
My.
Maggie.
Ah.
That's fine with me.
Yeah. Okay. Are we there?
I would use it.
I know. We've got 2 minutes. I'm going to put those on.
That comes right up with the show title and you having your coffee.
Oh, good.
Mrs. Calabash Cooks. I do need a black. I need a black. Here, here's what we put M on. Okay, here you go. Better. And the street cleaning machines have gone.
Pardon?
The
Yeah.
street cleaning machines have gone.
Yeah.
So we've got a beautiful, clean street. God, that guy takes care of business.
Doesn't he?
He
Yeah.
really does.
Right, we're ready.
Yeah, in a minute.
1 minute to go.
I'm streaming and I am recording. let's take the second to come up. Okay, 2 o'clock.
I know. I'm
Get
ready. Yeah.
Put it away. Now, give me a look at the camera like you're ready to go.
Okay.
Not like you're anticipating ants crawling up your ass.
Okay.
Looks like you have like to press. Smile, you Jesus.
I'm smiling!
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Let's see what happens. See, it goes away for a little while. You're on.
Hi, everybody. Jabor, 20 bucks.
20 bucks.
20 bucks. Never mind than 20 bucks. You're playing. Your play's playing. Hi, Jabor, and welcome to Mrs. Calabash Cooks. Come into my kitchen. And today we're making, it's a fusion idea. And fusion is when everything, it's from different countries, and we make a dish out of it or a meal out of it. And so today we've got Portuguese pork, Portuguese lemon pork, a spicy cauliflower from India as a side dish. I'm going to serve that with noodles, so that can be from Portugal or from Italy. You can serve the pork with rice. And from the UK, I'm going to make a Bakewell tart, or I'm going to make little Bakewell tarts. And these are from, there's a little town in Derbyshire in England called Bakewell, and these stem from about the 19th century. There's various recipes for Bakewell tarts, but the general thing is that they're made with almonds, and almond. Sometimes they have almond on the top, sometimes, but it's always made with ground almonds. So you can make one large Bakewell tart in a flan ring, but and if I do that, I use puff pastry. But I'm using these store-bought pastry cases today. I'm getting more and more making individual desserts, because with being diabetic, I can portion myself out. I will cut a slice, and I think, I could eat a little bit more, so I cut a larger slice. And traditionally, for this, it's always raspberry jam. Sometimes you can put apricot jam in, but raspberry jam is the traditional, because we grow raspberries in England, and so they would use whatever they've got in the pantry. Now, I made some this morning, and it made 14. I've put 15 cases out because I think I overfilled them just a little bit this morning, and some just bubbled out over the top, some of the filling. So put some jam in the centre, and this actually is a no added sugar jam, so I can eat it, which is nice. So let's just put that over there. Now we've got those like that, and in here we've got butter and sugar, cake flour, 3 egg yolks, I've got 4 egg whites, and ground almonds. So what we're going to do, it's a bit like making a sponge cake. We're going to beat the butter and sugar together. Just until it's nice and light. I've lightly beaten the egg yolk, so I'm going to add some egg yolk to that. Add some more egg yolk. Knock those down. Just let me get rid of that for a minute. And I'm going to combine the flour and the ground almonds together. Now, if you want a more almondy flavour, then just add a little almond essence. And some of the recipes actually have flaked almonds just on top of this sponge mixture. So that's a personal choice. So we're going to stir the flour into there. We've got.
There's no comments.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
There's no comments.
There's nothing.
Doesn't work.
There's no.
Nothing?
No. Am I carrying on?
Don't worry about what's on that monitor.
Okay. Am I live?
Well, just a minute. Yeah, we're going live. That's we're taping all this, and it's going live.
Okay, sorry, folks. Derek just is confused. He's doing really well, actually, because he had, as you know, through my comments, he fell down the basement stairs and broke 2 ribs. This time last week, I was collecting him from the hospital, and I literally had to lift him into the car from the wheelchair. So I think the tablets are affecting his mind a little bit, quite honestly. No, I'm not. He's laughing. I'm not joking. But he's doing really, really well. But please bear with us. Just folding this in. I don't like mixing this in with a mixer because it's going to over mix it. So, like that. Now, we have 4 egg whites, and I did whisk the egg whites up previous because they take quite some time and they make an awful lot of noise. So I'm just going to give them another quick whisk, like this. There we are. Now, egg whites are picky. They are really, really picky. They don't like, let's get rid of that. They don't like humidity. They don't like grease. If you've got the slightest bit of grease in your bowl, they won't whisk up. So what I always suggest that you just wipe out your bowl and you whisk. Just wipe it out with either a little lemon juice or a little vinegar, and that will take away all the grease. So now what we're going to do, we're going to fold the egg white into the mixture. So to fold in, it's round and across. You can do this either with a spatula like this or a metal spoon. You can't do it with a wooden spoon. You have to cut through the mixture. It just takes a few minutes, but we want to incorporate all the egg white. Now, if when you're separating the egg yolks from the white, you get a tiny drop of egg yolk in the white, then actually use the eggshell itself to pull it out. It acts as a magnet. Now this is a nice almondy mix. You see, it's like that. Clean your spatula. We don't want to waste any. And I find the best way to put on is like this, just using 2 spoons. So, like that. Just push it out. Now make sure that you have sealed around the edges, because the jam's going to bubble up and we don't want it to bubble over. Excuse me, but I've got something up on my monitor. I'm just going to have to tell Derek. Derek, it said connect your live stream to live API.
Say again?
It says connect your live stream to the live API.
Connect the live stream
To the
live
API.
AC out?
No, API.
API?
Yes. I'm sorry, folks. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Sounds very technical.
What the hell? What are you talking to?
I'm talking to the people.
Who?
Well, aren't we going live?
Have you got comments?
No. Oh, Derek.
Well, how do you
please.
know?
Because I've got something on the television screen.
It says on the television
Yes,
screen.
yes. I'm sorry, people.
The monitor, tell them what the monitor's for.
Well, the monitor in front of me is so that I can read your comments when you ask me something. And so I would like you to ask questions as we're going along. And seeing as you're not here with me in the kitchen, this is rather nice. You can ask me questions. I can answer the questions, hopefully. If not, I will look them up and answer them for you. And so tell me if you like what I'm doing, what you'd like to see. So we keep going like this. Look, I find it easier just to, when you get to the edge, just to turn this round like that. But this gives a nice sponge topping. It's not as light as a sponge cake because it's got the ground almonds in it. I don't know how the recipe originated, but Bakewell, as I say, it's not a very big town, and now it's absolutely famous for its Bakewell tarts. And Derbyshire is a beautiful county. Lots of hills, greenery, sheep, and people flock to Bakewell. I used to do Bakewell show when I was in England, and it was a fantastic time. It's in the summertime. That was the children's holiday, going around the shows. And I had a stall and selling my preserves. And we used to go around the shows. We had an old VW bus with a pop-up top, and we'd take a dog or two with us, and off we'd go. So the children led lives of gypsies, actually. There we are. So I'm going to put this in the oven. It should be 350. My oven is a little bit low, so I'm putting them in at 355. And they will take between 15 and 25 minutes, depending how much topping you've put on the top. But you see, I've got 15 there. I've got 15. So let's just put these in. We'll keep an eye on them. So that's, yes, 20 past. Now in here, let's go to the stove. There we are. I want to turn that up. I've got boiling water. I'm going to put some noodles in this pan. And that, I'm going to give it a quick stir. I've salted the water. It's already salted. So they will cook. That's on a very low burner at the back there. So that will cook whilst we're cooking the pork and the cauliflower. Now for the pork, I've halved, look, it looks a mess because I've got water on it. And you can see how I mark things off, and I've put half. So down there are half the ingredients, because this will serve 6. There are only 2 of us, so I've just halved the pork. And when you buy a pork tenderloin, there's usually 2 tenderloins in there, so I've got 1 in the freezer. I've got this on, been warming this, because I want it to be nice and warm. And in here, I've got the pork, and it really needs about 8 hours. This has been in there for 8 hours, marinating, and you can see how the pork changes colour. And for the marinade, it's garlic, and the garlic with the lemon juice and the oil will attack the meat and tenderise it. So I've got garlic, lemon juice, grapeseed oil, a little seasoning in there, some cumin and some red pepper. Now I'm going to fry this, or saute. A little oil. I've got some oil here. No, that's water. Got some oil in there. I'm going to add a drop more oil to that. I'm using grapeseed oil today because, as I've said before, I like the grapeseed oil. I can bring it up to a higher temperature without it turning cancerous on me. Just make sure that the skillet or whatever you're using is covered in oil. There we are. And I cut these pieces. I didn't want them to be too thick today because I need to have them cooked in the show time. So it doesn't take long to cook. And we want to make sure that these get nice and brown. I love this dish. Sometimes I add a little fresh thyme into here as well, because the lemon and the thyme go beautifully together. I had to bring the mudroom. Smells rather nice at the moment because it's got some of the herbs in there, the more tender herbs. So the thyme's in there, the rosemary, the sage. The sage and thyme should be able to withstand a little frost, but they're doing so well. I brought them in, and I've just left the chives out. They'll be okay. So I want to cook this until the meat is brown and all the juice has evaporated. You see, I hadn't got any, I lie. I'd got just a little marinade left over. Sometimes it depends on the meat. If you're using a whole meat, a whole tenderloin, it won't take as much marinade because there's not as many open cut faces. So this I'm going to move over there. I want that to cook. Let's move that over there. Just check this, bring it up temperature. I'm very good at boiling over pasta. So if you see me, give me a shout, make a comment, give me a shout. Derek will shout to me and say, oi, the pasta's boiling over. Now for the cauliflower, I'm using a wok. Woks are good because that acts as your cooking surface, and that acts as a cooler area. So I need to bring that up. And I was a little bit disappointed when I went shopping. The cauliflower, the largest I could get was about that size. From last week we had beautiful cauliflowers, big cauliflowers, and then they shrank this week. So it's only a small cauliflower. I'm just going to look how the juices are running out of the meat beautifully. So we just need to keep turning those over like that. The pork doesn't take too long to cook, and actually pork, this modern pork, can actually be eaten a little bit pink. It's not like the days of the old pork when we just fed the pigs on anything. The pigs are now fed controlled food, and so there's not the impurities in the pork anymore. So I've got a little more of those if I need it. These are my spices: mustard seed, fennel. I've got some turmeric in there and some cayenne pepper, a little garlic, some oil and some water. So you saw I pulled it off because it started to smoke as I was talking. So I'm going to make sure that again, you can see I've ticked everything off as I get it together. There we are. I want that oil to get a little bit warm, and yeah, I'm going to add the fennel and the mustard seeds, and once these start to pop, you can see them starting to pop like that. Lovely. Turn down the heat, and I'm going to add the garlic. Add the garlic. Watch it, they go all over the place. The turmeric and the cayenne. There we are. Oh. And I want to cook, if I can stand over it, the garlic. It's just turning a nice light brown. And I'm going to put the cauliflower in there. It smells beautifully. I wish you'd got smelly television. I want to coat the cauliflower in the oil and the spices. Now, in India, fennel is used as a digestive. I'm going to put some water on that. Might have to add a drop more water, but we'll see about that. Fennel is used as a digestive. It has a licorice flavour. And when I lived in a place called Rishton in Lancashire, and I'm going to put that water in there for that. Add a drop more water. There we are. Let's just stir this around. There we are. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. I want to cook that until the the meat is tender. And we'll test that for seasoning. See if we need to add a drop more lemon juice or some more seasoning to it. Yes, with the fennel, I lived in Lancashire, and I had I suppose nowadays you'd call it a health food store, and I used to make all my own granola and have people. I would have it in sacks, and people would take out just what they need, or I would take it out for them, and I used to do medicinal spices, and I worked with a herbalist, and I had all these herbal remedies, and I would bottle them, and it was in witch country. The last of the witches was burnt at the stake in, I think it was 1600 or 1700, and we were in Pendle, and there was a thing called the Pendle Witches. And one day a lady came in and she said, well, you cured my dog, because I used to make a mixture of honey and garlic. You cured my dog, but a horse has got a problem. What do you recommend? So I could actually recommend something. He had eye trouble. I could recommend something. And Kate's dad said, back in the old days you would have been burnt at the stake, because really the witches were really herbalists, and they were very wise people. But I'm digressing, because I then went on to culinary herbs and spices. And we had a Pakistani population, and there was a warehouse, and this gentleman was only spoke Urdu. I only spoke English, and I went in, and he taught me. Gradually, we understood enough of each other's language, and so with a mixture of Urdu and English, we could correspond. And he taught me all I know about spices. And he was the most fantastic, gentle person, and I'm forever grateful to him. And he was telling me about fennel. Excuse me, it's got down my throat. I've got to have a drink. Oh. There we are. And it was, and they have a little thing, I used to sell it, and it was a fennel seed with candy round it. And we used to call it P-I-P-I. And apparently on the dinner table, there would be dishes at the end of the meal of this pipi. And it was the fennel seeds. And it would be eaten after everything had been served as a digestive, and because it had the fennel inside, and that was rather nice. And I used to make little packets up of this pipi and put them in a little linen bag, and people loved it, and it was all brightly coloured. And so I learned all my knowledge of spices from this gentleman. I'm going to add a drop more water to that. I want it to cook a little bit more. And this is drying up a little bit. What have I got? Let's have a look. Ah, look what I've got under the table. A little wine. So I'm going to add a drop of wine to that. This is wine that can't be drunk. It's been opened far too long, and never throw it away. Can always be used in cooking. So we're going to taste that, because I've diluted that marinade quite a bit, and I want to make sure that it has a nice flavour to it. That's really is rather nice. I'm going to add I'm going to add just a little more of that, a little bit more pepper flake to it. My pepper flakes I've had in for some time, so the pundency goes. And so I just want to add a little, just a touch of salt and pepper. Not much. There we are. So that, I'm just going to put down, that is ready. We'll just check the meat, but I can tell by looking at it, it's changed colour. Oh, beautifully, beautifully tender. You can see it's not pink inside anymore. You don't want to overcook the pork. And that's by marinating. It cuts your cooking time down considerably. But remember, when you're marinating, the acid and the garlic will start disintegrating the muscle of the whatever you're marinating, and the garlic. This is especially important with fish. Don't over marinate because you'll end up with a mush. I did that once. I was working in the store and I was doing a promo on the shop floor. I didn't have time to keep going back and marinating. I had some salmon. I said to my assistant, just put it all in together and we'll take it out. Well, it was about a 5-hour demo, and by the end I couldn't use it because the fish had turned to mush. So just bear that in mind when marinating. Now this is nice and crispy. I don't want it to be overcooked. Let's just have a taste. That is delicious. You can taste the fennel. And there's a hint of cumin in there. Absolutely gorgeous. The noodles will be cooked. Let's turn those off. Let's look in the oven. They've risen beautifully, but they're not cooked. So I actually made some this morning, as I said before, because I knew that they wouldn't be cooked. Let's just strain the noodles. There we are. We'll take those over here. Put those on there. Get the other trivet out. Let's just turn these over for another minute or two. Like that. Switch that off. Now then. There, look at that. Beautiful. So, what can I serve it in? I've got various dishes out here. So I'm going to put the noodles in the bottom. I'm going to put the pork and the juices over the top so that the noodles absorb all the beautiful juices. There we are. There's the noodles. Here's the pork and the juices. I'm not going to waste any of that juice. Wipe down the side of your serving dish. Oh, look at that. Supper. And seeing as it's with lemon, I thought we would put some lemon slices on the top. Let's get rid of those. We don't want that. If we can, let's just take out the pips. The lemons were really nice in the store yesterday. Take out the pips. Just cut up to the center like that. Cut up to the center. Like that. And another one. Like that. And I've got a little... I keep thinking it's going to be at the end of the flowers, and bless them, they keep coming through. So we've got a nasturtium like that. We just want to add a bit of colour, and this is oregano. I think this will really be the end of it because we've got a frost warning tonight and tomorrow night, so I think this will really be the end. But the oregano goes really nicely with the pork and the lemon. Let's have a look, because the other's mint. I don't want to mix the two. There we are. We'll put that there, and I'll put my other flowers back in, but I think this will be the end. I really do. Very sad. I hate to see the flowers go. There we are. Oh, look, one's popped out. There we are. So that is the pork, the Portuguese lemon pork, and these are the Bakewell tarts. There's the Bakewell tarts. I'll just cut one open for you and show you what it's like inside. So you see, you have a layer of jam and then that beautiful topping. So those can be served. What I'm going to do is, obviously, we won't be eating all these and the next load. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze them. We'll have one or two, one for supper tonight and maybe tomorrow night. The rest are going to go in the freezer, and I'm going to serve them at Thanksgiving. And so I've already got one dessert already made. That's good thinking. I'll show you what the others are like. They're not cooked yet. But oh, look, we forgot this. stupid. Here we go. Nice crispy cauliflower. Again, you want all the juices on there and the spices like that. And I think to brighten it up, I've got the end. I've just got the end of the little tomatoes. So we'll just put, to add a bit of colour to it, some baby tomatoes. And I think I might have one more gathering. I don't know if I'm lucky. So I don't want to waste any. So let's make some space and we can eat with our eyes. Come on, flowers. There we are. So we've got the cauliflower, the pork, dessert. These are very nice served with ice cream or cream, but I'll just show you the ones in the oven because they're not quite ready yet. They're getting there, but look, they just need a few more minutes. So I'll put them back in before they decide to sink on me. And thank you very much for watching Mrs. Calabash Cooks. I'm sorry for the bit of a debacle in the show, but Derek really has done extremely well. We didn't know if he would be well enough to do today. But please join us on Monday at 7:30. I'm thinking times, for an open chat. And what I'm going to be doing, we had a chat last Wednesday, and I had questions. Have you got any ideas for leftover turkey? Well, I'm going to give you my ideas for leftover turkey on Tuesday. I will have some recipes ready for you, and so thank you very much for watching. Please, the recipes will be up online for today on mrscalabashcooks.com. And so please have a really good weekend, and thank you again for joining me in the kitchen. So bye.